some breaking news from the state of Tamil Nadu now. SP Velumani has condemned the detention of 7 AIADMK MLAs and called it a political revenge of the DMK government, and also said that the DMK government is trying to divert people's opposition against the government due to the increase in electricity tariff through the investigation of the anti-corruption department. Now, the EPS further goes on to say that he strongly condemns the dictatorial arrests and urges in fact, the government to immediately release all the arrested AIADMK legislators. Now, remember, now DVAC, or the Director of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Bureau, in fact, had started these raids at the residences and places which are linked to former ministers SP Velumani and C. Vijay Bhaskar, and this is in connection to 2 different cases across the state of Tamil Nadu. So the detention of those 7 AIADMK leaders and MLAs is what is being questioned by the EPS. My colleague Mugilan now joins me on the broadcast. Mugilan, there is ample politicking that, of course, is going to ensue considering these arrests have been made. But if you can just take our viewers through the background of this particular case. We're talking about 2 cases which the Anti-Corruption Bureau is actually looking at, and of course this tweet by EPS.
Definitely, yes, there are multiple raids that have been carried out against these particular 2 ADMK leaders and former minister. One is SP Velumani and another is Vijay Bhaskar. And once again, 2 new FIRs have been filed against these 2 former ministers by the DVAC against SP Velumani. It has said that SP Velumani has misused his position and have granted contracts to the companies which are owned by his associates, and thus have caused a loss of 500 crores to the exchequer. So that is the FIR that has been filed against SP Velumani, and in an FIR that has been filed against Vijay Bhaskar, it has said that the Vijay Bhaskar, that is former Minister Vijay Bhaskar, have granted permission to a particular private medical college, even when it is under construction, because the certificate says that the private hospital or medical college is fully functional when it was still under construction. So these are the 2 FIRs that has been filed against these 2 former ministers, and as I said earlier, there have been similar raids that were carried out against these 2 former ministers. And in the first reaction that is coming in from the ADMK's interim general secretary EPS have questioned the DMK. First, it has said that in the first 2 times, when the DVAC conducted searches at these 2 ministers, they returned empty-handed, and it is completely illogical for them to come for the 3rd time and conduct these searches. And in the second question, EPS questioned that it was very recently the Supreme Court has pointed out its fingers against the sitting ministers, and only to divert that attention, the DMK has carried out these searches against 2 former ministers. And he has also said that the ADMK will face all these cases legally.
Absolutely. Mugilan, thank you so much. So the Stalin government is on the offensive and accusing the DMK government of the same is EPS. And this is what the tweet really says. We'll leave it at that.